Why should every artist watch the movie Soul? Soul, if you don't know, is a movie that is made by Disney Pixar, released on Disney Plus on Christmas. It kind of got a little shoveled under Wonder Woman 1985. But for the few people that's seen it, maybe a few people that haven't seen it, I want to tell you some awesome things about it. Not really going to do a lot of spoilers here, but I just want to touch on a lot of the more powerful things I got from watching the movie. It was awesome seeing a Disney Pixar animation just of that quality with a huge cast of black characters. Another thing too was just the soundtrack, because the movie is based around jazz and the jazz pianist Joe Gardner, played by Jamie Foxx. As far as whoever wrote this script, man, shouts off to this guy, because his story just resonated so much with me personally, being a recording artist for so many goddamn years. It's like what, like 10? It's like 10 years now. Joe Gardner was a jazz pianist, and he played with so many bands, so many favorites, jazz musicians, and he just kept looking for his next big break. And this movie starts off with him being a middle school teacher, a middle school music teacher. And you can see that even though he's trying to touch people and trying to pass off his knowledge with music, that he's still personally not satisfied. His old student he taught hits him up and is like, yo, I got this spot to play with Dorothy Williams tonight. And she's played by Angela Bassett, which is pretty awesome. He pulls up, works it. Dorothy's like, yo, pull up in the freshest suit you have. And the rest is the rest. With Joe Gardner being so excited for this opportunity, feeling so this close to his dream of being a famous jazz musician, it gets wiped away. He falls in a hole, my guy. And he's like dead, and he's trying to like stop himself from being dead, and that's kind of like the majority of the movie. But the reason why I say every artist should watch this movie Soul is because Soul is more of a story about how the sacrifices you put into your craft. And what I mean by artists, I mean you're making music, videos, photography, you know, painting, anything. I really think you can resonate with the story. Joe Gardner's story was just so kind of transparent to an artist like me, who's seen so much people, you know, kind of get caught up in the whole like, oh, these guys, they overlooked you. You're better than this person. You're better than this person. You kind of get wrapped into that. You have a lot of people that are in your life, and his mother was one of those people that just try to shelter and protect him from the world of him pursuing his art. It wasn't more so like she didn't believe in him, but she more so didn't want him to get hurt. And his passion just drove him so much that he couldn't die. Joe Gardner refuses to die. And that type of compassion for his passion really resonated with me, because there's so many times when artists can struggle. Artists can get put in this box where they can't create. They can get put in this box where sometimes they're in a block because they're focused on more of the money aspect of their craft, and they sometimes don't want to exploit their craft. You know, sometimes they think they're this close. You think you're this close to getting recognized for all the work and all the hours you put in, timeless hours, timeless days you don't sleep, and to feel like you're this close. And if you were to get that all taken away from you, if you feel like you were this close, I would react like Joe Gardner too. I would fight for that. I would fight for my life. I would try to break all the rules just to get back in that time, just to do it. And then, spoiler alert, but when Joe Gardner finally does it, it's unsatisfying. And the reason why it was so unsatisfying is because he spent so much time pursuing this dream, so much time pursuing his craft, so much time locked in on trying to make it, that he forgot how to live. I don't know the exact age of Joe Gardner, but he's you know what I mean, he's middle-aged, man, getting up there. But, you know, he doesn't have a wife, doesn't have any kids, you know? And he starts looking at life differently after this experience. He thinks that 22, who's played by Tina Fey, and she's the soul that's like kind of like a lost soul. And the afterlife is that souls are like kind of put in this kind of productions type of states where they're just pumping out personalities. They match up with other dead people going to heaven, and they're just like helping them pick their professions and their passions. And this character 22 doesn't really want to do anything but just besides not live. And then she gets caught up when they go to the Earth world, and she's like, she's Joe Gardner, and Joe Gardner's a cat, it's a really powerful moment of them sitting down and she's noticing this is life. The air, the breeze, the New York breeze, the leaves falling in the fall, and all these things are so beautiful that makes life worth living for her. And I would think as artists sometimes we kind of forget about living life sometimes, and that's not to say a bad thing. We just always get kind of wrapped up in our crafts. We always make these time sacrifices, kind of time passes on around us. And I would say that was probably the biggest thing that I took from this movie, and more so the whole afterlife of living and dying, but it's just kind of like pursue life in whatever means, and just do whatever it means to make you happy, and put that energy out and keep striving for your craft. That's why I recommend any artist to watch the movie Soul, because I think you'll have your own type of interpretation about this movie, have your own kind of sense of clarity in a lot of events and hardships you've gone through in your career. Please lock in. Please subscribe, like, comment, follow our social media, stay up to date with Bars and Joysticks. And this is Paco Escobar with Bars and Joysticks. And stay where the wild things are, people. Stay where wild things are at.